Hello YouTube, my name is Tyler and this is a reading vlog. So it's the third week of September. I have to say I'm feeling pretty proud of myself for keeping up with my vlogging through the month of September. Anyways, it's September 17th and I actually finished a book last night, but I was in bed. It was almost bedtime when I finished it, so I was not gonna break out the camera to talk about it. But I finished Any Man by Amber Tamplin. Hi, Max. Okay. Anyways, I finished that last night. I did not really like this. I gave this 2 stars. I seem to be in the minority. This book is highly rated. It's almost 4 stars on Goodreads. All of the top reviews are talking about how much they love this and how much of a visceral, real read this was, how much it fucked them up, etc, etc. What? That was not my experience. I didn't like this. I didn't like the very uncommon stylistic choices being made. I just found it so grating. It felt very much like I'm actually a very smart person, and it was just a grating read. If you don't know, this is about a serial rapist who is attacking men. So it's a woman rapist. There are 5 men, I think, that are attacked by her. And so it's about the men, but it is about rape. And it seems like it's trying to have commentary. But it just felt very ham-fisted. It felt very over the top. And I just didn't enjoy it. I didn't. But I'm in the minority, so apparently, I don't know, maybe Amber Tamplin is actually a very smart woman and I'm an idiot for not getting it. It's also interesting when reading the reviews, everyone talked about how much they loved the Twitter chapter. There was a chapter that was all tweets. Lots and lots of tweets about what's going on in this case, this story. And I hated it. I fucking hated that chapter. The whole time I was reading, I was like, oh, this is probably a 3. It's not really for me, but like, whatever. But that Twitter chapter made me so mad. And it's very interesting because I had a similar experience reading Yellowface. When I got to the specific Twitter chapter, I was like, I'm not actually having a good time with this book. So maybe I just don't like commentary on Twitter discourse. I used Twitter for a very long time. It's a formative experience in my like internet life. And I just like don't need to hear people discoursing about the concept of Twitter and how Twitter works and how people behave on Twitter. Like, it just doesn't do anything interesting for me personally. So yeah. Anyways, I didn't like it. I gave it 2 stars. I'm in the minority. Maybe you'd like it. I don't know. But I am really starting to realize that like TikTok books do not do it for me. They just really truly do not. Me and the TikTok girlies are looking for different shit in the books. And I guess never the twain shall meet, because every book I have picked up off a TikTok recommendation thinking I was gonna like it, I did not like. Anyways, I talked longer than I expected. I wanted to fold laundry while I was talking and then never got around to it. So I need to go fold laundry now. I will talk to y'all when I finish another book. Bye. Hello, so it is September 21st and I have just finished listening to my second book of the week. Not a very productive reading week, but it is what it is. So I finished listening to The Foxglove King by Hannah Witten. I'm going to give this 3 stars. It's not YA, but it definitely kind of had that kind of feel to me. Like, it didn't feel very deep or fleshed out. It is a story about a girl named Lore. She has some powers that basically like correlate to necromancy. Like there is this power to control death in this universe. And then she gets wrapped up in a plot to help the king. Like she gets involved in like royal shenanigans. But it has like a very, I don't know, it kind of reminded me of like the paranormal romance era. Like there was like a love triangle. The two men were kind of like two sides of a coin. One was royalty, one was related to the church that has like relations with the monarchy, I guess. And then she has this power that they're trying to use. When listening to this, I had fun. I enjoyed the like royal court vibes. It's interesting. It did kind of remind me of like a less good version of Elantris, where the royalty had like godlike powers. So there is that like royal lineage power dynamic in this. It reminded me of that. I liked the religious stuff. I'm realizing that like I like the interplay of like a state religion and a government. In both cases it's been like monarchy. I enjoy that like interplay. I like the religious stuff. I like its interaction with like the political aspect of a fantasy. So I enjoyed that. But just like the general vibe of it, it didn't feel very, like I said earlier, complex or fleshed out. It very much felt like the romancy aspects felt like the most like emotional depth that the characters got. So like it was fine. It was 3 stars. It helped me kind of figure out what I like in fantasy a little bit more. But like this is not a series I would continue. I think it just came out. They said the copyright was 2023, so that's this year. And it's the first book of a series. I do not plan on listening to the rest of it. While the audiobook was enjoyable, I just like don't care about any of these characters. And I feel like I would have to be invested in these characters to want to continue the series. And I don't care. But it was useful in realizing that like religious monarchy stuff is interesting to me in fantasy form. And on that note, it's the last day of the vlog. I finished 2 books this week, and I am still reading a couple things. I talked about most of them in last week's vlog, so this vlog will be pretty short. I'm not going to repeat myself over and over again. But I'm still working on Frankenstein. I did start Columbine by Dave Cullen. It's interesting, the chapters are really short on this, so I feel like I actually might read this quicker than I had anticipated. Still not like next week, but I don't think it's going to take me as long as I was thinking because it's such a chunky book. I was thinking, like the end of October, whereas I think it's possible I could finish this before I go on vacation at the end of October. So there's that. Still working on Yowamushi Pedal. And then I am reading An Unkindness of Ghost by Rivers Solomon. They wrote, what was that book I read by them earlier? Sorrowland, that is what it's called. I listened to that in audiobook form last year, I think. Really liked it, but struggled reading it physically. So I actually started the audiobook, and then I realized this is like a much more sci-fi vibe, and there's like a lot of like little vocabulary words that I wasn't quite picking up on, so I actually ended up picking up the ebook version of it, and I'm reading that. It's easier to read than listen, but I have been reading it so slowly, so slowly. I would like to pick up the pace on that. And then the QAnon book by Will Summer, I think, that came out, I think, in this year. The audiobook of that finally just checked out. What is it called? Trust the Plan. That checked out to me a couple days ago, but I wanted to finish The Foxglove King because I was listening to it super fast. I was listening at 2.5 times speed, which is like really fast for me. So I didn't want to have to like switch between speeds in the book because I don't think I'm going to be listening to that as quickly. So I'll be starting that, I don't know, shortly. Alright, so that's what I'm reading. Yeah, I'll talk to y'all next week. Bye.